Alright, hey, Hayes Mega here. Welcome to the next episode, alright, where we're going to install the EBMX X-9000 onto WR250E here, okay? So, in the last video, we stripped the bike, alright? In the previous videos, we stripped the bike, we hacked up the airbox, alright? We took the airbox out, we hacked it up, so we could put the controller in, because it's bigger than the far driver controller. And then we made mounting brackets for it, alright? So now it's mounted to the bike, and all we need to do is wire it up. So that's what this episode, alright, or this vlogs are going to be about, is trying to get this bike back running again with the new controller, alright? So all the components, or all the wiring that we need to do to get the bike running is what we're going to do in this vlog, okay? And we'll go over all the wiring and stuff. I'm happy to say that my box of parts to install into the bike is almost gone, alright? So we're almost there, alright guys? It's almost running again, alright? Yeah, you know, I kind of like the way it was before, but I'm pretty sure their bike is going to ride much better with this new controller. I have EBMX X-9000 on my Lightbeat, and I like it a whole lot, alright? There's a reason why it's very expensive controller, okay guys? So if you guys don't know, there is a special harness, alright? For every bike that you install it on, there's a custom harness they built for it, alright? So EBMX has great support for like different bikes and bikes that are sporting the QS138 motor, alright? Like the one that we have installed on the WR250E, alright? So, and in a previous video, we polished out the installation of that motor into the bike, okay? From the previous owner's work. That's what I say, okay? So now it's pretty rock solid, and now we're going to install the controller, okay? Yeah, alright, so let's go take a look at the components we need to install. It's not too much stuff. Like I said, the video is going to focus on getting the bike running, alright? Just the bare minimum stuff. To get all the wiring, all the the peripheral stuff later, we'll figure it out. I bought a fancy display for it. We'll check that out. But we need to make a special mount for it. Hayes Mega wants to be all fancy and shit. All right, we're gonna install it where the original dash was for the Yamaha computer. Okay, so because this is a dual sport, it had a fancy, you know, multifunction display in the front, right? And we're gonna install the EBMX multifunction display on this bike. All right, it'll be sweet, man. I specifically chose it for this bike because it has a place to mount the gauge cluster, and it had one before, and also it's a dual sport, okay? So we can ride it on the street, so it'd be handy to be able to know how fast you're going, to be able to calibrate the speedometer, you know, other stuff like how hot it's getting and all that stuff, okay? On the Lightbeat is kind of small and kind of cramped. There's not too many places to put stuff on the Lightbeat, so I didn't think it would be very good on the Lightbeat. Right? The last thing I want is to like have the chin hit the display and break it, and then that's a $180 display. Okay, guys. Hopefully this display is pretty good. All right, is what I'm gonna say. It's something brand new that came out from EBMX. All right. So anyway, let's go check out what we need to install it on the bike. All right. We've got the QS138 harness. We got to install the phase wires, the hall sensor, and then some other switches and stuff. All right. So let's go check it out. Okay, so I've got two boxes here, alright? This is the box where I had all the stuff to install on the bike, and then this is the EBMX X-9000 box, okay? I think this is the box that it came in. We'll go over all this. This is all the stuff that we're either going to use later or we're not going to use, okay? So I'll go over that after we go over the stuff that we are going to use, okay? So the controller is installed on the bike, alright? You can see right over there, alright? It's right over there. The controller's right there already, okay? So we don't have to worry about that. Now it's the wiring and all that good stuff, alright? So let's see what we got here. Okay, on the bike I got the important stuff, alright? So this is the bag that this came in. QS138 X9000 race harness for QS138, alright? I believe I'll kind of go how it works, okay? So this is the harness that it comes with. It also comes with a switch, all right? I think this is the switch to turn it on and off. I think they mean race harness because this is the harness I think they designed a harness to use in FIM races or something, because there's a specific regulations and stuff that you have to have. Okay. Anyway, so here's the this is the harness. All right, guys. It connects to the connector that's on the X-9000. All right. It's one of these. I think it's this one right here. Okay. So that will go into the harness right there, and then it's got a hall sensor connector. All right, that will connect to the hall sensor on the motor. All right, I think it's dangling off the side of the bike right there. Okay, and then we've got a throttle connector. All right, I've already got the 3-pin connector on there. All right, so we're gonna have to modify the connector that's on the bike. All right, I think the previous owner said this bike used a Sauron throttle, but I don't believe it because it doesn't say Sauron on it. But it looks pretty similar to a Sauron throttle. So Hazemake might get a Domino throttle later if I can get one for a good price. But let's see if we can get this one to work. Okay, so this is like a standard, triangular connector that the Saurons uses. Okay, and I bought a connector from AliExpress. Okay, it's already got the wires already attached to it, so good stuff. All right. Hopefully we know how to wire it. Okay. All right, there's that. I have the wiring and what the pinouts are for the far driver controller before I took it apart. All right, so we'll use that when we're doing the wiring. I know black goes to black for sure. Okay, these are the mystery ones. Okay, but we'll figure it out. All right. It also has this bullet connector here that connects to here. All right, or it connects to a switch. All right, so you wire this switch in between here. All right, so you see how they connected this one. So if I connect this to the bike right now, it'll just turn right on. All right, so we wire a switch in between it. Okay, so this will go to that bullet connector, and this will go to the male bullet connector. Okay, and then this is supposed to go to the positive battery terminal. Okay, so this connects straight to the battery, and then when you energize this wire, I guess, all right, this red wire, when you energize this wire, it turns the controller on. Okay, it's kind of like a relay wire, I guess. It's like an ignition switch. Okay, so yeah, also, since I speak of ignition switches, you can install an ignition switch in place of this. All right, so if you have like a 2-wire ignition switch, you can use that instead of this. All right, I will get one at a future date. Okay, so what we're using right now on the WR250 is that number over there. Okay, see that thing with the voltage meter on it, with the keyhole on it? Yeah, that was our switch right there. Okay, and we're gonna do away with that. I like it, but I don't like it. Okay, guys, it's not a good place to have on the bike. I would rather have the key in the center of the bike, not on the side. All right, I do like that voltage meter though. So I don't know. Maybe we can just use the voltage meter. I'm not sure. All right, but we don't need to because we have the X-9000 display. Okay, so there's a switch. All right, that's the on-off switch. This goes to the battery positive. All right, that's a throttle, and that's it. Pretty simple. All right, only 3 things to hook up to this harness. All right, to where this goes. Okay. So that's what comprises of the QS138 harness. All right, minus this. All right, I got this on AliExpress, but we're gonna have to modify the connector that's on the bike because it's a different one right now. It's like a flat 4 kind of connector. Okay, yeah. So these are the connectors. Okay, I think there's the male and female ends. Yeah, see, I think this is the male and that's the female end. All right, but for the throttle, we're gonna need, I think, the female. All right, we need the female end. Okay, so we're gonna add a female end to the other connector. Okay, so there's all that. All right, with that, the bike should power on. All right, and then so the other connections are the phase wires. All right, we got to connect those. All right, that's the orange wires there, and then the DC wires. All right, the battery cables. All right, there's that. That's right there. Okay, and then here's the other stuff that's got to be installed. Okay, I apologize guys, there's not a lot of room to work with in my garage right now. Okay, so these are all the stuff that's going to be involved in the installation. I put it on top of the X-9000 box. These are the screws that come with it, alright, the hardware. These are for mounting the wires on the terminals, okay, the phase wires and the DC wires, okay. It has washers and lock washers. I don't really know what these plastic washers are for, but there's 4 of them. There's 4 of them. I don't really know what they're for. Okay. All right, so there's that. We've got our regen throttle. Okay. So Hades Mega is planning to install a regen throttle that has a handbrake. All right. Left hand brake regen throttle, alright, but we're going to do that in a later video, okay? Let's not worry about that right now. We're just trying to get the bike running, so we're going to install the X-9000 thumb throttle, okay? This is the one that comes with the kit. This is actually the one for my Sauron. The other one still, where is the other one? It's right here, alright? This is the one that came with the kit, but we're going to use the one that I had on my Sauron. Alright, because that was brand new and I've used this one already. I'd rather keep one that's brand new, okay? Maybe I want to sell it later. Okay, and then so to use this, you need a special, you need a splitter, okay? Like a 2-in-1 cable, and that's what's in here, alright? However, we got the new X-9000 or EBMX display, alright? And that's what this puppy is, alright? So, the X-9000 uses a SW102 display, all right, or like an egg writer, but they developed this cool looking display, all right, so you can have a nice fancy display for your X-9000, all right, and so that's the one Hades Mega bought. It already comes with a selector switch, all right, on it, so we're gonna mount that on the handlebar somewhere. Oh, is that gonna be long enough? Oh, I don't like what they did with this. I don't like that they... What if that's not long enough? It's not long enough, right? What if you want to put the switch somewhere else, okay? Yeah, I don't like that they just put the switch on there. I think they should have used the connector with this thing. Alright, also it has the data connector, alright? So this is a special cable, and that's what this is, okay? So remember that cable that I showed you here? This is for the stock display, all right. But this is where you're going to use this fancy display, all right, the large display, and it has a special connector here, all right. And then that connector goes to this harness right here, okay. So this is the other harness that's on the bike. I think it's the kind of fat one, man. I'll show you. Okay, I think it's one of these. I think it's this one. Right? What is this one? Yeah, I'm not sure. There's a lot of wires that I'm not sure go to thing. Right? So I know the large one goes to this. This one is like a... What is this? It's like a 6-pin or something. This one doesn't look like it goes in here. It looks like it connects to this. This connects to this. What's this for? Oh, you know what? I know what it's for. Okay, yeah, anyway. This connects to one of these, alright? One of these, I'm not sure. I think there's only one way to find out. Just connect it. Alright, they made it so you can't connect it wrong, guys. Alright, anyway, so here it is. Alright, I think you just gotta line up. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 8 pins. I think this has 8 pins. This one only has... Yeah, I think this one goes here. Okay, so this one goes here. You gotta line up the arrows. Okay, so I'm already installing one, guys. Okay, so that's the display connector. All right, so that it's for the display and the regen throttle. Right, regen throttle connects to this. Display connects to that. All right. hopefully there's enough wire to get to the front of the bike. Okay, so for the display they give you these clamps, these handlebar clamps. I guess you're supposed to mount them here. Alright, the hardware is some, I think it's in the box. We're not going to use it, okay guys? Haze Omega is going to try to install this where the gauge cluster is. Alright, so this is a handlebar mount. Alright, it mounts on the center of the handlebar, okay? But we're not going to use it, so we're going to set that aside. At least, yeah, well, it'll be for a later video, guys, okay? So that's the display. Alright, it's a fancy TFT display. Hopefully it's a pretty good quality one. Hopefully we don't have problems with it breaking. Okay, so there's the regen throttle. Okay, that goes to the yellow connector that I showed you. And then yeah, so this is some of the stuff we're not going to use. Alright, but I'll go over some of what's in here. Oh, we need this. Alright, we need this. This is the Bluetooth connector. Okay. So that's the Bluetooth connector that connects to that other device, or the other connector. I think you're supposed to zip tie this somewhere. I'm just gonna leave this in the airbox, okay, guys? What I might do, yeah, I might zip tie it somewhere. I think that's what this is for, just to zip tie it to something. This little bracket here. There's not a lot of room to install anything on the Suron, guys, so I just like throw that in there. We might just leave this hanging in the airbox, okay? But this is the Bluetooth adapter, okay? So this allows you to connect it to the controller with your phone, okay? So we need that, all right? So we'll take that out. Okay, this is the thumb throttle that came with it. We're not going to use that. And this is the stock harness, all right, for the thumb throttle and the SW102 display. We're not going to use that, all right? So the rest of this stuff, not going to use, okay? And then I think that's pretty much it. And the bike should run with all this stuff, okay? Okay, so what's in the box? Now, what's left in the box is the SW102 display. Alright, that's this guy. Alright, that's a little Egg Rider display. I'm not going to use it. Probably just going to sell it, okay? Probably sell it to somebody. Alright, I kind of don't like it, honestly. This display is kind of too small to be useful. Alright, so we'll put this stuff back in. We don't need that. I don't need this. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to start transferring stuff from this box, alright, this box to this box. Alright. Okay, so what else? Alright, so I've got this pit bike clutch lever. Alright, we're going to use this in a later video. Alright, so I will put this in here. Well, we're going to need it, so I'm going to leave it in this box. Okay. Okay, I think these are the foamies for the display. Let's put that in here. Alright. This is the mounting hardware for the display, all right, for these guys, okay? So I'm gonna go put that in here. All right, this is the instruction card for the EBMX controller. I think I got it. We'll see. I wish they would include. I wish this thing was easier to install, man. They have videos and stuff to install it, but this is like a custom installation, guys. Doesn't really pertain to us. Okay, but I did get some help from GritShift. I want to thank GritShift for their support. All right, they're the ones that sold me this controller. All right, I got it on Black Friday for a good deal, and I've been messaging them. I've been emailing them like how to install it and everything, and they sent me the wiring diagram for everything. Okay, so the wiring diagram for how to hook up the harness, the wiring diagram for, well, bam, this guy, all right, the 12-volt harness, all right. So this is a harness I got with my other EBMX controller. So the sad thing is they don't give this to you anymore, all right. I can see why they wouldn't give it to you, is because you probably, if you had like a Suron or something, you probably wouldn't use it, all right. So what this is a 12-volt output harness, all right. And there's another connector in here. There's another harness in here too. Okay, so this is I think this is a Talaria harness. All right, this is the harness that Talarias use. All right, well, we're not going to use that. I'll put that back. Okay. So I got an extra Talaria harness, and I got an extra Suron harness. All right, so that's what this is. All right. So this is a Suron. This is harness for a Suron. I bought the kit for a Suron, guys. They don't have a kit for a QS138, so you have to buy the Suron kit, all right, and then buy the harness that you need, all right. So So I think the harness was like $100 or something, man. So it makes it more expensive, unfortunately. I wish you could just buy one without the harness, and then you select the one that you want and they give it to you. Okay, but anyway, this is the Sauron harness. I have an extra one now. All right, I have using the other Sauron harness in the bike. So I have a Sauron harness and a Talaria harness. I can sell that and get my money's back for the stuff I'm not going to use. All right. Okay, I've got a one of these connectors. All right. Okay, here I've got a it's a Hygo 3-pin connector. All right, this is going to be for our pit bike project. All right, so that goes with this guy. All right, I'll just put that. What's that other bag that I didn't use? Right here, I'll put it in this bag. Okay. So this is going to go to the throttle box when we make our. Yeah. We have to wire this to the throttle box. Okay. Actually, I could have got the connectors from the throttle box. I just realized that. Okay, but what we might do is we're just going to take the regen throttle off of the Sauron, so we won't have to do anything. We just plug it in. Okay, so there's this. This is a future project, guys. All right, that'll be a future video. So for now, I'll just stuff that in here. Okay, and then yeah, and I think that's it. That's everything. Okay, so also I wanted to talk about the 12-volt harness. All right, so this is what we're going to use to power the 12-volt components on the bike. All right, yeah. So if you want to run lights, if you want to run, I guess you could run grip warmers. I'm not sure. Maybe you could. I'm not sure. You would use it for lights, fans, water pump. Okay, so that's the idea behind this. Okay, so you can power 12-volt peripherals. The controller has a built-in DC-DC converter. All right. So this connects to the harness, and then it gives you 12-volt output. All right. Some of these wires you can specify in the app to turn them on and off, and then some of these wires, I think one of these wires is a constant power. There's a bunch of grounds and there's a bunch of 12-volt outputs. Okay, basically is what it is, and you can program some of them in the app. All right. So we will be installing this in a separate video. Okay, guys. But to get the bike running, we don't need this. All right. But to get the lights and all the 12-volt stuff running on the bike, we do need this, okay, guys? That, or we installed the DC-DC converter the previous owner installed, all right? So we'll see how this works out. I would rather use this, okay, because it's already built into the controller. Okay, so that'll be a separate video, all right? So we'll put that back in there. Okay, and then so that's it, guys. That's all the stuff that I got. So let's go install it. All right, but there it is. So that's my X-9000 goodies right here. All right, we're good. This is the controller that we're installing. All right. All right, so I got this from my my older X-9000. All right, the one that I bought last year for the Sauron, and this one came with it. All right, I think this is a PC. It's a PC dongle for the X-9000, so you can use the PC to tune your X-9000. I never used it, okay, guys. I just used the phone app to tune it. Right? So, but I think you can probably use the VESC software. Yeah, this allows you to use the VESC software to tune the bike, okay. But we'll just use the EBMX app, okay. But yeah, so there's that. All right. But yeah, I could understand why they didn't sell this. Once again, they're like taking stuff out of the kit that they think you might not need, but they're also keep the prices roughly the same. So I feel like you're getting less for your money type of thing. Okay, but was I going to use this? No, I wasn't going to use it. Okay, so probably it's just it's just junk to me now. Okay, but maybe I could sell it. I'm not sure.